right now. How's the program been so far?
Well, it's been an eye-opener in terms of what perceptions we have and assumptions we have in the company. We're running the culture clinics now, and just to reaffirm the culture of the organization, let people know what we stand for, what we believe in, what are our values. It's something that I believe that when we finish, it's just a step in the right direction.
Right.
And when we finish, we'll nominate culture champions across each cadre to ensure that the values are better entrenched within our staff and within the employees and that. And it's done company-wide. It's not just for full staff, it's for everyone.
Really, very amazing stuff. So, since we're talking about culture, I think most employees that I come in contact with say that's one of the things that have attracted them to AXA Mansard. As a matter of fact, I know that we have won Great Place to Work award a number of times, and culture is so important. So what would you say is really the culture? Can you break it down for us, what this culture at AXA Mansard is?
Culture at AXA Mansard was entrenched in the values that we set up as a company. And the values today are the customer first, integrity, courage, and one AXA. However, the real culture, the real drivers of that culture are the norms that we have. One of our biggest norms, which is actually the bedrock of our foundation, is mutual respect for one another.
Right.
We're able to trust one another. We're able to have free and open communication. When we give feedback to one another, it will be taken, appreciated, and not seen that there's a malicious intent. One other thing that we stand for is empowerment. At AXA Mansard, we can empower you to do everything.
I can testify to that one.
At AXA Mansard, you can come in with a law degree and end up as a CFO.
Right.
It is only done at AXA. Why? Because we believe that everybody has a potential, everybody has something to give. We're not so fixated on your qualification that you have brought in, but more, what do you have to do? What is your appetite?
Right.
What do you want to take on? What do you want to give? So when we get that into the door, we then begin to harness your best opportunities. When we look at our people today, we have people taking leadership roles that have 4 years experience, 5 years experience. It's amazing. They have what it takes. Some of them are performing roles and things that are mind-blowing. So for me, one of our biggest fundamental ways is when we empower people, we get the best of them.
Right.
We win the trust of our people. We get mutual respect for people. Leverage on open communication. The values that we have put in place will begin to work for us. And you can see the customer satisfaction numbers will begin to rise.
Yes.
Just by treating our employees and ourselves better.
Great. So let's talk a bit more about the open communication that you mentioned. I know that it's something that is very, very personal to me. And I think a lot of people value it, but is that what is still in place? Do people have that understanding? How does it work really at AXA Mansard today?
So to be honest with you, I realized from the sessions that I've had so far that some people don't know that they can walk up to anyone in the company to share an idea, share an innovation, talk, or even ask any question. People think you have to go through the channel of go through your line manager to get to HR. My door is open. Rashida's door is open. Kule's door is open. Deji's door is open. You can walk into Jumoke's office and ask a question. You can walk in, share that feedback. But they're afraid to knock on the door. They're afraid to ask that question. Maybe because where they're coming from, they don't know that they're allowed to. At one of the sessions yesterday, someone said to me that they still struggle with the first name calling that we have. And I said to the person that it's not by putting the Mr. or the Mrs. or the uncle, boss or auntie that you can get the job done.
Sure.
You can call Omowunmi. I remember someone we employed found it difficult to call my name and would always come to my office and just say, I have something to sign. And I'll say, what's my name? I have something to sign. I had to force the person to say, what is my name? Until the person got comfortable.
Yes.
So we need to make people around us feel comfortable to approach us.
Yes.
That is when open communication can work.
Yes.
We need to bring down the barriers. We need to see ourselves as approachable people and not, constantly, be adverse to feedback.
Yes. It's interesting, the feedback you are giving about some people not knowing that, because I know that it's something that is encouraged at meetings. For instance, we're constantly asking people to speak up. It's the people that speak up that are even rewarded and noticed, and it's something that is very, very core to who we are as AXA. So it's actually interesting that when we say that some people don't know that, and I think that perhaps this the COVID era has impacted on it. What do you think? The fact that you were working remotely largely for the last 2 years.
Well, the truth is, COVID had its pros and cons. The biggest pro for everybody was remote working, so it worked well. However, the biggest con for me was the fact that we lost connectivity as a family, as a people. AXA Mansard is known for camaraderie. We love ourselves.
Absolutely.
We love being together. If you say you are getting married at AXA Mansard, you have to make sure the invite is not sent by HR, because everybody believes that it is our person that is getting married.
Right.
If you have a child at AXA Mansard, everybody believes it is our child.
Yeah.
So one of the things that happened was that when COVID happened, we didn't have that constant connectivity anymore. And we started doing the whole virtual meeting, and we lost it. We're trying to bring back a bit of physical meetings now. And the first sessions I'm having with the culture clinic, it's been amazing. We had people talk about their one fun fact about them, and it was amazing. We have chefs in the company. I would never have imagined. We have people that can play different musical instruments, and we have people that they play football in their mind. And it was a testament when we had the EPO bonding. I didn't want to go home. I had so much fun. I was really very competitive. I wanted to win. Yes, I wanted to win.
I know.
But the fact that we were all together, we played together, we had fun games, and the only reason why we had to go home that day was because we were afraid that we were going to take over the jungle from the monkeys. We had to leave. But that is what we need to bring back. And I believe that if we start seeing ourselves a bit more physically, start having more interactions, believe me, I believe that all of that barrier that people believe that is there will be broken.
Yeah, actually, I think for me, I had taken a lot of these things for granted, maybe because I've been here at AXA for so long, and where I worked prior to AXA, it was pretty much the same. But I remember that I was talking to a friend recently, and she was saying her colleague was having a birthday. So I said, "What are you getting your colleague for the birthday?" And she was like, "How?" I'm like, "A birthday gift, They don't do that here. Nobody gives anybody any gift." I was in shock. Like, really? Like, it's the birthday, you celebrate the person, you do stuff like that. So it's actually quite interesting, the way you mentioned that sometimes it's also biases from where people are coming from, and the remote nature of things has not allowed people to see the full extent of the culture that is in place, because I see that from a lot of should I say new entrants. But it's really amazing, and it's great that you've been having this session. And speaking about that, I know that we have this smart working policy at AXA, which is really, well, let me allow you to comment about it. Tell us about this smart working policy that is in place. How exactly does it work?
Okay, so the AXA smart working strategy is a blend of a 3-day in the office this week and a 2-day remote. The following week you have a 2-day in the office and then a 3-day remote, so that in the space of 10 days you get to do 5 days in the office, 5 days at home. So that's actually the strategy.
Excellent. And what do you hope to achieve with that?
So with that, we believe that it can give you the best of both worlds through it. You get to have a great work-life balance for people that have family, that have children, that have spouses and boyfriends and girlfriends. We don't forget them. Yes, we're known as a family-oriented company, but we also promote the guys that are single and encourage them to also have time for themselves, enjoy, go to the movies,
Right.
close early from work, and just spend time to hang out with other people.
Great. Mental health is very topical at the moment. And
Yes.
we as AXA, we are leaders in that space. Something that we are promoting a lot, awareness about it. So what are we doing for specifically in that area for our employees?
Mental health is something that, yes, it's topical, but it was something that we started as far back as 2018.
Right.
Because we had one or two episodes within the company where we were exposed to it and we sort of understood it, and we decided to then launch a program around it. So we had the first mental health awareness, to create awareness about it in the company in 2018.
Right.
We had sessions for everyone in the company. Then we launched an employee assistance program then. Now, we didn't really see anybody take it up. People really didn't believe in it because then it was a big taboo. So even when we launched it, we were not sure how it would be perceived. Surprisingly, during COVID, it became a big issue because people were locked up at home. People didn't have anyone to communicate with. People felt lonely, people were single, and then people had issues with spouses, even with the work. So we relaunched it again, reminded everybody about it, and then we then provided the numbers of our employee assistance guys that we had. Then we had just 3 in the company that we're using. We had Grey Insights, we had there were 2 personal doctors that we're using. One was a professional coach, one was a doctor, and people started contacting them. People leveraged on the opportunities, and then just a couple of months ago, we just launched the 4th employee assistance provider as well. And they also had a mental health survey questionnaire was deployed to employees. Because we know it's topical, we also don't want to pay buzz service to it, but we want to make sure that it's impactful and people really benefit from it. We're not treating it with levity at all. We understand the importance and we encourage people. It's anonymous. It is absolutely anonymous. It's free. It comes as a benefit to you as an employee. So it's your right to actually leverage on it and use the program.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think that, like you said, how would you say the uptake has been? Because I think one of the areas, like you mentioned, one of the things around mental health is the stigma that is attached to it. And I think there has been a level of awareness that is being created, partly by us as well, on this and the need for people to access it, and it's not anything to be ashamed of. I've had situations where I needed that type of support, and it doesn't mean that I'm mad. So how do we continue to communicate this to our employees, and what has been the response? How do you see it?
So the response, depending on the season, is also a bit seasonal. So there are times when we see a high uptake. Okay, usually around when
NPR.
No, not really NPR. It's
that was a joke, by the way.
we see an uptake usually when people are when there's the pressure from the home front around school fees period. There's a pressure, and then sometimes during COVID we saw the uptake was higher during COVID than now. It's reduced now a lot better than then. During COVID, we had a lot more people access it. The beauty about it, like I said, it was anonymous, so even I don't know who will go to the doctor. So when they get to the doctor, the only thing I get is even the initials. We agreed on the initials being sent to me, but they had a way of covering the initials that I can't guess who it is. I'll just get the bill, and I'll, so it was really more of trust. I would trust them not to give me something. And they'll just send the bill and we will pay. That was it. So the uptake then was higher, but right now it's reduced. Maybe now people are back in the office, maybe, or maybe now the issues are not as bad as before, but the uptake is still there, but it's not as great as 2020.
Okay, absolutely. I think one thing that is being reinforced is the need that basically anyone that wants to access it is available.
The truth is that I have accessed it. there was a time when I just felt that the work pressure was a lot on me. The blending and managing home, work, and also living for myself. So I did access it, and it was not that I was giving medication or anything, but I just needed somebody else to talk to.
Right.
That wasn't my husband,
Right.
wasn't my boss,
Right.
wasn't my colleague,
Right.
wasn't my sibling, did not know me, so could not
Absolutely.
judge me.
Absolutely.
And the person listened to me. I think it was maybe on a weekend, and I reached out, and it was amazing that after I finished the conversation, I felt at peace with myself.
Wow.
All the person just said was, take a deep breath. You haven't failed in anything. You're doing very well. Look at yourself as a success story and don't feel that you have shortchanged yourself. And of course, I then went and stood in front of the mirror and I said to myself that I am fearfully and wonderfully made. I am a successful person. I have done well. And by the time I finished, I actually felt better with myself. And you know, sometimes confession time, I still do it. I still look at the mirror and I say it to myself. So it's not that I'm mad, but it helps. That affirmation sometimes it keeps you at the right place. And please, if you feel you need someone to talk to, reach out to them. They will be there. They will listen. They won't judge you. They don't know you, so
Right.
they can't judge you.
Great. Omowunmi, really nice
Okay,
to
my
pin you
coffee is
down.
now going to be cold, thanks to you. But you know, it will be nice for us, just finish it, and thank you.